Greetings, folks. Today I'm going to talk about this. I'm just going to change this. There we go. So, on the left, you've got the American Zumwalt, and then the Russians appear to have been inspired by this, and they have this Corvette. So, there have been quite a few design changes, and I've been reading about this. People think much of the criticism, there's been the criticism that they think the hull has been lengthened to accommodate the VLS for the Calibers and the Onyx and the Zircons. I don't think that's the case. I think the superstructure has been shortened. So, a little bit of context. So, this is development from this project. Oh, this is from Charlie. Was he Charlie 015? There it is, Charlie 015. If you search out this, then you'll get his website, his Spanish website. So, evolution from this, similar designer involved, sort of like your details on Wikipedia that are a little bit out of date. Doesn't mention the redesign that was in January. You might get details such as, there you've got your displacement, 3.4. Why don't just call it kilotons? There we go, 3.4 kilotons. And then you can see if you're interested in these details. There you go, and I'm going to move forward. Now, this was not accurate for the first one because it didn't have these in the first iteration. It had the Iran missile complex in there. Right. And I'll show you all of this. Let's see what details we have here. Right. I think that means Darren. I think that's Russian for Darren. So, again, simple stuff. Man, I've seen this before. Now we get to the good stuff. So, this is Charlie's graphic, and as you can see, I added the bits to the bits where you can't work out what it is as easily. You know, we have an idea that that's munitions, and that's a helicopter. So, I was wondering, what's this? Yes, decoy picture. Well, we know it's a boat there. So, I'll be getting on to the changes later on. Here, I think they've shortened this superstructure. And one of the reasons, and one of the ways they might have done it, besides removing this section, which is where the Iran missiles fire from, is removing these close-in weapon systems. And now, you might be thinking, oh, that's a downgrade. But if all the main powers are going to get hypersonic weapons, then a close-in weapon system is not gonna cut it. So I don't need to read all of this out. All I just need to do is keep it still for a moment if you want to pause it and then read through what you have there. Now I'm going to go and look at this. I can just go out a little bit of context. So, see here, these transverse Iran missile launchers removed, and I'll show you an image of that momentarily. The AK close-in weapon system, the series, has been removed from the miniature, and then I think it looks like machine guns have been swapped in. If you look there, it's a very thin barrel on this miniature. And when we get to the differences around here, what have we got here? Yeah, I think this is an omission on the miniature. I don't think the miniature is as well done as, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's all a bit. I mean, I don't think Russian welding is as bad as it used to be, and I don't think any welding is involved here. But you know what I mean. It's a little bit poorly finished and not smooth. If you see here, it's more aligned. I think it's a cheaper model, cheaper miniature. So yeah, I think this is an omission on the miniature, and that it will have the boat, that it will have the launches here for the packets, anti-torpedo torpedoes, and for the larger torpedoes above. I believe there's going to be. I believe that's what the compartment is for them. I will show you that later. Yes, I believe the mast looks to have had some branches pruned, in my opinion. You've got these ones here, and these ones, it's not there, and you've got these vertical wires coming down from these longer ones. They're not on this miniature, not that can be seen. So I used GIMP for this. So this is what's been added, this VLS. Now, the name of this, I don't actually know the name of this. It might be that 3S14 one, I think that's the name, or that UK one. We don't know. What we know, though, is what its purpose is for. To fire various missiles of the Caliber family, P-800 Onyx, Circon. Yeah, the reason why I've put it as TS is because that Russian letter is Sia. Sia. It's not a Z. So, my analysis is, if we look here, I believe that this has been, in order to accommodate these VLS cells, I believe the following changes have taken place. I believe this has been moved slightly forward. If you see there's a bit of a gap in the this sort of spray guard or whatever it is. I mean, I moved that slightly forward. Now, I don't know if it looks like they might have extended the guard back, but if you see here, it looks like it's been moved slightly forward. And that would enable the gun to go slightly more forward. And then it's like you're still really not got enough space. So you have to have enough space here. So cut this out at the top. Cut that out. And then you can move things back. And then I'll go over what they've done. I've actually diagrammed this a little bit better in the next images. Oh, these are other videos on my channel. I don't have to read them out. You can pause it. Right. So this is the new miniature. And again, there's the added VLS. Now, here we go. So, this has been removed. And this has been removed. This was on Zvezda, which is just showing the container compartment. That's why I didn't put this red on. And like I said, this should have been... that. Why isn't that? You got a hole there that's not there, and then I think this is an omission from the miniature, and that it will be there. These have been added. So let me get this down so I sort of know what I'm doing. Here we go. So just going to toggle this next one, and you'll see the changes. So you see what I mean about the miniature? It's like, look how level these are, and then these, not so much. So, I don't know what this is that's been added, but you can see how this has been removed. You can see how it's longer. And also, if you sort of look at the distances involved between this sort of smokestack to there, and then that smokestack to there, look at the amount of room you've got. I think they've shaven some length off it by removing these CWIS things, these AK, what is it, 630Ms. And so you got to make a judgment for yourself with that about, because that, it looks to be shortened there. I tried to get the angle similar. The problem was this is a little bit of a, that shot's from further away, that shot's been closer in, so it's like a little bit of more of a wide angle lens. What else? So you make your own decision. So this is what has been removed. Transverse, Uran. I have to stop myself from saying Uran 9 because that's that robot tank. Right, you can see here, look at all this, there's a little bit more branches on it. And then a little bit more on this complex. There we go. And I think when there's fire, sort of, you get the exhaust coming out here through this hole. Right. And this is the guy who now, one of the things you notice when you watch Combat Approved, you might think they've got a lot of young people working on these ships. And I think that is because of what happened in the 1990s. You had a sort of a lost generation of designers when the Russian defense industry collapsed. And so you tend to have a lot of people who are like old and then these young people involved. So you got a lot of young people in these senior positions. Again, here's the proof. Right. And then this is from recent. This is the previous miniature. Again, look at the mast. Look at all these. These are not on. But again, this is just a miniature. We'll see what is on the finished. And another reason why they've not shortened the hull is they've already started building it. Whereas the superstructure is just sort of like it's not metal. It's mostly for stealth reasons and also to reduce top weight composite materials. So it's going to be very difficult to lengthen the hull when you've already built most of it. So again, you can see Redut. I had speculated that they've maybe made this angle steeper. It's possible because you could make that in order to get a little bit more space. The VLS. All right. And again, here, these have been moved forward on the 2020 iteration of the miniature. You can see these. And yes, they fire. Now, this is an interesting graphic. I will give you a bit more space. Partial electric. Now, what he said, the young chap, Alexander, variable pitch propeller. Variable pitch propeller. And the advantages for that in being able to generate less noise. The sort of sonic stealth reasons. What else have we got? There's a different, you see. So it's interesting. I noticed here, you got this space. This is part of that space that would have been saved from, because we had the Uran missiles in there. So they've removed that bit. So I wonder how the internal configuration has changed, because they're still going to have, maybe, are they still going to have some dead space in there? What did they put in there instead of the Uran missiles? Well, just a miniature at the moment. Anyhow, right. Okay, now here's an interesting bit. It's going through the container compartment. What I did with these graphics, I tried to get the sharpest versions I could. So, here we go. So, towed sonar, variable depth sonar. It's got a winch on it. Again, you can see, I don't want to say what's already on screen. My speculation is, I have a question for you. What do you think is in these areas here? Because I have an idea what's in these areas here. I think it's the torpedoes. So, oh, and this is part of the presentation. The lift already up. And this is from the container area. Right. Towed sonar. I'll show you these containers, the club case stuff later on. Okay, so here. I was thinking about how do they move these containers around? Like, well, are they going to move the helicopter this way? Or they're just going to go up, get over there, and then put it up and fly it away? And I thought, why can't they move it this way? Well, there's going to be something else here. There's going to be something else here. And it's like they'd have to go down even lower. So it's like there's a bit of it. So what is here? This, I think, is a larger torpedo. This is for the packet. Because this is proof that there is something there. There is something there using this area up on there and on the other side, probably. Yes. Right. So, that's pretty similar as it was before. And then it's like, they're going to show things moving around. So these winches probably help with, like, launching this little boat. What else have we got here? What changes are going to take place? Look. So this is where they can get stuff in, or get your variable depth sonar in, or tow it, and then board it to the back. There we go. I don't know what this Vinitka EM station. So, and then this is where it emerges. The towed sonar. Again, you see what I mean? It's not a great miniature. And then this is the first one. Right, these are other things that could be put in the what do they call it? They call it a transformer room because it's transformable. Transformer room. Again, here now you can see what they have done. And then, so this is where we get the Club K stuff. Now, remember, this was from the first one when they didn't have a VLS for the Calibre. So, are they still going to use this, or going to use different modules? Because they're already going to have 16 VLS silos that they could put Calibres in. So they could put other things in there. Let's go for this sequence. I'll show this container in a moment. And then, as promised, right then. So, oh Ben, that's not real. It's just CGI. Okay, now you get the real thing, and you get some snazzily dressed women as well. There you go. This, I believe, is the Uran system. Snazzy outfits. Now, I think as part of this system, you've got a sort of a miniature helicopter, a UAV for the targeting. Because I wonder if these, like, how do these work when you've not got, you still need your targeting for it. So is it part of sort of a distributed lethality, as the American military would say? Right, it's like somebody else will like locate the target. Now it's going to be easier when it's like land-based because it's just like the target's not going to move much. And yeah, there's proof that there's 4 there. And then there's that helicopter. There's UAV. I think that's used for spotting. So I think that is about it. And I'll just go back to my thesis being, they have shortened it in order to accommodate these extra VLS silos and moved that forward. They might have even moved things further back. If we sort of get maybe an idea of like how much space this uses up compared to this, could they have moved that further back? You have to judge for yourself. Right. All right then. But at the moment, they are building it, but I just think it's easier to make changes to the superstructure than it is to make changes to the hull. Because one of the criticisms would be, because it's already a large Corvette at 3.4 kilotons, if you start making it bigger, you start getting in the territory of a frigate, and then people start then comparing this against the Gorshkov, which has got more close-in weapon system. And another reason why you don't need close-in weapon systems as much, well, relying on stealth to stop it, and you can use these Redut missiles can intercept. But I think that with hypersonic missiles, that close-in weapon systems like that, I mean, the only thing you could possibly use is a say, I mean, I think in future you're going to get, like, say, a nuclear-powered destroyer with, say, 50 turrets on it, with directed energy weapons to try and intercept hypersonic weapons. But those hypersonic missiles are going to be having heat shields on them, so they're going to have to spend a second or so on each missile to burn it up when it's already got a heat shield on it. So I will leave you with, so it's a nifty little ship, is this. And so again, Charlie, if you Google that, just Charlie015, you'll get his Twitter and his website in Spanish. And Google Translate will do you a favor there. So I'm going to stop now. Bye-bye, folks. Well, that was embarrassing. I just